Guys, welcome to the SaaS Sales Misfit podcast episode 2, the podcast that gives you a no-nonsense look into what's exactly happening in the world of SaaS sales today. Right, now we're diving straight into the deep end, guys. The lay of the land. The SaaS winter is hitting the mid-market and SMB spaces, and it's creating a new set of challenges for everyone. What does it mean for you, the SDR? What does it mean for you, the AE? We'll be covering that off today. Make sure you stick around for that. Show me the money. Jerry Maguire, eat your heart out. We'll break down the latest news in investment and funding in the world of SaaS today. Plus, blocker of the week. This is one you cannot miss, guys. I'm running a masterclass on why your opener is failing you. We'll get into why your very first objection comes before your prospect has even said a word. So stay tuned to find out exactly what I mean by that. But first, guys, I want to share this article with you all. The great SDR downsizing. 36% of B2B companies cut sales development teams in 2025. That is a brutal stat. 36% of companies cutting sales development teams, sales SDR teams, BDR teams in 2025. What does that mean? Well, actually, it means it isn't a blip. It's a fundamental shift. So let's have a look at this. It's actually the most affected team in sales. 25% of businesses have decreased the AEs, but like I said, 36% have decreased their numbers in the SDR piece. But what does that actually mean? It doesn't mean that the role of the SDR is finished. Far from it. It means that the role is evolving. Yeah, the old school SDR approach of spraying and praying and spamming people, that's done. The new school SDR is a hyper efficient research king or boss or queen, and they're the ones that are focusing on quality, not quantity. Okay, the most valuable SDRs are not just trying to book meetings, they're genuinely qualifying leads and acting as strategic partners to their AEs. Yeah, they're focusing on quality, not just activity. They are the ones that are actually thriving. Okay, so you need to evolve as an SDR. And what I mean by that is no more basic discovery checklists, guys. Yeah, how many on your team? What's your goal for this year? What tools are you using? That stuff is just a checklist. It's boring, but it's also very shallow and it's not going to get you anywhere. Yeah, and it's not going to help your AE out. All right. You're going to need to take deeper dives and get your prospects to really focus on their current versus future state. Find that pain. Yeah, no pain, no deal. Now, guys, if you're running very basic discoveries and you don't know how to do a deep discovery, then let's just do it on the next podcast. I will do a tutorial on it and we'll take a deep dive into how to run an effective deep discovery session. Let's just do that next week in the podcast 3, in the 3rd episode. Right, the next bit I want to talk about is LinkedIn posts. And a bit of a rant. Is it just me or are they just blurring into one, the majority of them? Most of them are pretty cringe. They're regurgitated versions from ChatGPT, from old posts, and it's just recycled on and on and on. And here's my issue with it. I don't think we're doing anyone any favors. What we're doing is we're going to create a bunch of unproductive LinkedIn doom scrollers, right? They're just going to be scrolling through because all the messages are the same. So they're just immune to it. And what good is that? It's no good for anyone. It's not good for the poster. It's not good for the person just scrolling past their post. Yeah, posts should be interactive. They should drive discussion. They should drive engagement. They should get people to think. Yeah? Or maybe I'm just being an old fuddy-duddy. I don't know. Why don't you let me know in the comments if you agree with me or not? Maybe you think the posts are absolutely fine and you think I'm barking up the wrong tree here. But that's my take on what's going on LinkedIn today. And I tell you what, over the next few episodes, maybe we'll look at a couple of posts and see what the audience thinks. Now, in other news, more capital has been raised. And guess what? It has been raised in the AI space. Okay? And when I say the AI space, Oracell raises $30 million to build AI native CRM platform, challenging Salesforce dominance. Okay? So now this is an increasing threat to the legacy platforms like Salesforce. This follows news from last week where I spoke to you about Attio. If you remember, they raised $52 million in Series B funding. We're going to talk more about the AI gold rush in next week's podcast, as it may look like there's a ton of investment still in SaaS, but it's super concentrated. There is investment in SaaS, but the AI piece here is crucial. Okay. Now, definitely tune into that because you're going to want to know who's getting investments, who's not. But if you're not in the world of AI, you are going to struggle to get investments. Right now, it is tough to raise initial funding in the early rounds, unless you're talking Series C onwards, then it's a different story. Now, last week, we spoke about the enterprise space. We spoke about deals dying a painful death up in the enterprise space. Well, that does have a trickle-down effect, right? So today, what I want to look at is I want to talk to you about the mid-market and SMB space. What does that trickle-down effect look like? Because there's a myth here, right? That enterprise deals are dying, but because mid-market and SMB are slightly more transactional, or SMB is definitely more transactional, they're fine. We're just doing transactional deals. No worries. It's not as simple as that. Whilst it might seem like there's more joy in particularly the SMB space, it would be false to claim that it's as straightforward as that. All right. There's still economic pressures here, but they manifest different types of pain. Yeah, it's a problem for the giants, but it's also a problem for mid-market and it's a problem for SMB. But there's slightly different types of problems. And so what you SDRs and what UAs need to do is the following. You need to become a diagnostician, not just a salesperson. Easy for me to say, a diagnostician. I think that's the right word for it. So mid-market, the problem. Think of mid-market as a space that's in purgatory. Too big for simple solutions, for SMB solutions, and too small for the enterprise implementations, the enterprise deals, right? In mid-market, what your prospects have typically done is probably accumulated like a Frankenstack, a bunch of tools that aren't properly implemented, and you're then now going to speak to them about bringing on another tool. So how do you do that? Because your tool isn't a silver bullet to them, right? Your tool is basically just another problem to add to their stack, their ever-growing stack that's longer than their arm now. So what do you need to do? You need to, because their pain point is, it's not inefficiency, right? It's tech fatigue. It's too much tech they've got. How do you combat that? Well, SDRs, it starts with you. Your pitch needs to include integration. Stop asking about workflow. Ask a question like this. What's the one tool you wish you could rip out and replace right now? You've got to position yourself as the expert they need to solve their problem. All right. Now, AEs, your demos have to be different. They have to be a workflow solution because it's got to fit in with what they've already got. They're not going to rip everything out because you've come along. Yeah, you need to show them a workflow solution and how your tool integrates with them. Forget showing them the features of your tool. They've got tons of features. They don't need that. You need to solve a problem for them, and you need to also show them that you can integrate with their CRM or ATS or existing tool stack, whatever it may be. Your job isn't to be a product expert or like a feature shower specialist. It's to be an integration expert. Yeah, sell an easy button to their already growing chaotic problem. So that's mid-market. And look, you mid-market AEs and SDRs, if you've got any more questions, you want to take a deeper dive into that, drop a line in the comments. I'll respond to each one. I'm more than happy to have the discussion and the conversation around it. Let's do it. Now, SMB space, what is the problem you're facing there? Well, SMB, you're typically speaking directly to the DM every time. The founder, the owner, the chief decision maker, and they're typically going to be wearing multiple hats. So every penny for them is a painful decision. And the bureaucracy is simply the owner's just lack of time. Okay. The owner, the founder, whatever, the lack of time. They've got so many things going on. You need to make their life easier, not more complicated. So in a way, your biggest competitor isn't just another SaaS company offering a similar solution to you. It's also the prospect and the inaction that they're probably going to go down the road of if you don't do your job properly. It's the, oh, well, I've managed so far, I'll just do it myself, or I'll just do this manually for now because that's how I have been doing it. To them, your product is a luxury. And what you need to do is show them that it is an essential, not a nice to have. So SDRs, your prospecting has to be deeply personal and social. Get on LinkedIn, find the founders, find the decision makers, and send them nuggets of value. It gives away value. It builds trust quicker, and it gives you more credibility. Give them tips. Give them valuable tips. Maybe you've done something similar for a competitor. Hey, I've got a framework here that X, Y, and Z competitor use. I know you're aware of that company. Happy to share it with you if you think it might be useful. I've got a blueprint here because they're dealing with X, Y, and Z problem. Again, I'm happy to share that with you, right? Give them some value, build some credibility instantly. So when you call them as well, it's a bit of a warmer call. It's a win-win. Now, AEs, your demo, focus on one problem and show them the solution in real time. Your job is to find a pain point in your discovery, find something at the very minimum, find something to hang your hat on. And then as one of my former managers used to say, and he was bang on the money for this, just keep beating them over the head with it. Yeah, find problem. You told me at the start of this call that you're struggling with X. I'm showing you right now how you can deal with X. What this will lead to is, as you said to me earlier, if you can solve X, then that gives you more time for A, B, C. Can you see how this changes the game for you? Can you see how we are solving this problem for you right now? And if they don't see it, go over it again. Look, I may have lost you somewhere. Based on what you told me earlier in this call, you're going to love this specific bit because it is going to solve exactly that for you. Let me walk you through it. Get the spreadsheets, guys. Show them a real result immediately. And then as soon as you get a yes, push them towards a close. That's your job in the SMB space. Yeah, you've got to progress those deals quickly. Now, guys, I'm going to read some stats out to you, and they are savage. Over 260,000 tech workers were laid off in 2023. Layoffs continued into 2024. As you know, they've also continued into 2025. This isn't just random. Guys, it's a strategic market correction. SDRs, yes, got hit the hardest. We know that we've covered it today, haven't we? 36% of B2B companies cut their SDR teams. But the AEs were also hit. 25% of businesses have cut the number of AEs they've got. Only half of AEs hit their quota in 2023 compared to 2 in 3 in 2022. Fast forward to today, we're tracking for 1 in 5. 20% of AEs are going to hit their quota in 2025 across the SaaS space. You are working harder for less. Lower win rates, longer sales cycles. Win rates have declined to all-time lows, guys. Sales cycles are getting longer. The reason is simple. Buyers are more skeptical. They're more risk averse. The modern buyer, basically, regardless of company size, they've got more skeptical, they're more risk averse, but they've also got the CEO or CFO rather with that business mandate of let's not spend money, let's consolidate, or let's even better, let's streamline. Yeah, because the market is tough, the economy is tough. They're not going to be out there wanting to spend. They're more empowered than ever. They've got access to more information than ever. So your job is not to sell a product, guys. I'm going to say that again. Your job is not to sell a product. Your job is to diagnose a specific pain in each segment, enterprise, mid-market, SMB, and offer an empathetic, tailored where you can solution. If you're still selling the old way, and by the old way, I mean even just a couple of years ago, then you're in trouble. That's not going to cut the mustard today. You need to stop doing that and start becoming a problem solver. Now, guys, I said at the start of this podcast, we are going to cover off a tutorial on cold call openers. And why are we doing that? I have been speaking to SDRs and A's throughout the week and also been doing my research online. There's also posts on it on LinkedIn. And I think there's a lot of people out there that will get value from what I'm about to say. The first objection comes before your buyer says anything. Why? What is the first thing your prospect hears when you call them? It's not your pitch. It's your tone. They hear your voice. They hear your sound. And automatically, subconsciously, you get put into one of two boxes. One where I might listen or I'm happy to listen, and one where it sounds like everyone else. Tonality, well off, see you later. You're going to get hit with not interested. And that's exactly where it happens. That objection has happened whilst you're talking, because before your words have resonated, they've heard your tone. Then your words resonate, they put the two together, they piece it together, and if it makes sense, they'll give you time, and if it doesn't, they're going to give you the exit door and tell you not interested. That's where you're going to get hit with it. So that's where you get your first objection, and that is why your opener is so important, along with your tonality. Everyone talks about LinkedIn and social selling. Great. But the best sales reps are still dialing. They're still getting on the phone. So what's the most valuable part of a cold call? It isn't your pitch, because if you don't get to your pitch, you can't get to your close. It's got to be the opener. The opener opens the door to whether you can pitch and have the opportunity to close. You need to earn every second on that cold call. So the first 5 to 10 seconds are actually the most important part of your cold call. They will determine how the rest of the call goes. So let's give you some openers so you can pass your first test. Opener number 1. Hey, John, look, I know your time's tight. I'll be super brief. Straightforward as that. Respect time, buy attention. Why does it work? You're acknowledging the elephant in the room, right? It's a cold call. You've called them out the blue in the middle of their busy day. Their time's valuable. And this is super refreshing, right? To decision makers and champions that you're calling, because that is who you're calling, and they're super busy. And if you're not calling decision makers and champions, then start doing better research. But you're calling these people out of the blue, and they are stacked. They're not just swanning about waiting for your call. All right. Now, what that means is they also get hit with pitches, most likely by email, by phone, combination of both. Being brief is a value proposition in itself. Don't forget that. If your day is super stacked and someone's trying to get your attention and they're asking for half an hour of your time out of the blue, you're not going to give it. But if you're stacked and you're doing something and someone goes to you, hey, Neil, I know you're super busy. I'll just be 2 minutes. You're more likely to give them your time, aren't you? Right? It's your colleague at work, whatever it might be. But they're going, hey, Neil, they're acknowledging that I'm super busy. I just need 30 seconds of your time, or whatever it might be. That is a value proposition. Now, if you follow that up with, can I take 30 seconds to explain why I called? Put that all together, that's your opener. Hey, John, look, I know your time's tight. I'll be super brief. Can I take 30 seconds to explain why I called? Inflect down, projects confidence. There's a good chance that they're going to give you those 30 seconds. If they do, be ready. Cold call opener number 2. I'll be straight up. This is a cold call. Feel free to hang up now, or you can give me 30 seconds and I can let you know why I'm calling. The decision's yours. Yeah, it's honest. Straight up, it's a cold call. You're showing self-awareness. Self-awareness equals confidence. And that also helps lower defenses, right? In essence, what you're doing is you're being bold, you're being honest, you're being straight up. And that in itself should stand you out from 95% of callers. People respect honesty. Most of the time, you will get, more often than not, and you'll be surprised, they'll go, all right, then, yeah, go on, take the 30. And if they do, again, be prepared. Try this one out. Let me know how you get on. I'll be straight up. This is a cold call. Feel free to hang up now, or you can give me 30 seconds and I can let you know why I'm calling. Inflect down confidence. Right. Cold call opener number 3. Hi, Mark. It's Neil calling from SaaS Sales Misfit. Mark, we've never actually spoken before, but I am working with other sales directors operating in the same space as yourself. And that's how I came across your details. Was hoping to ask you a couple of questions if you've got a sec. Why does this work? This adds credibility quick. It's telling them that you're working with their peers. And then it deals with two objections straight off the bat, right? Who are you? How did you come across my details? Or how did you come across me? You can name drop familiar brands too, build relevance, do as much homework as you can. And then instead of assuming permission, obviously you ask, right? Which makes it feel like more of a conversation, not just a pushy sales pitch. Right. Bonus tip, guys, customize the companies that you're working with to their industry or size, right? Just do a little bit of homework. It doesn't take long. At least make it feel like you've done your homework if you're not going to do it. But my advice is do your homework. All right. Now you're going to have to tweak this opener because it won't flow for you the same as it does for me, the same as it does for someone else, because we're all unique. We all sell differently. We all sound differently. And the longer your opener, the more you'll need to tweak it. Hi, Mark. It's Neil calling from SaaS Sales Misfit. Mark, name drop him again. Make sure you get their attention. We've never actually spoken before. Yep. So you're filling them in. I've never called you before. We've not spoken before, but I am working with your peers and they're operating the same industry as you. Build that credibility up. If you've got a sec, I wanted to ask you a couple of questions. Straightforward. Tweak it. Let me know how you get on with this one, guys. I want to know. Drop me a line in the comments if it's working for you. And if you want some help in tweaking it, I'm happy to do that. I can help you guys out, right? We can come up with one that fits your tone and your selling style better. Maybe we need to make it more concise, right? Let's do it. And guys, if you want more cold call openers like this, I've got a ton of them. Just drop openers in the comments below or DM me on LinkedIn. I'm more than happy to help you out and send some over to you. Right, guys, that is it for episode 2 of the SaaS Sales Misfit podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you catch me next week where I will be covering the AI gold rush. Plus, we will discuss if the SaaS industry is actually still on the up or are all these investments actually a smokescreen. I will break it down all for you. And of course, we'll run that deep discovery tutorial for you guys. You SDRs that are still doing basic discovery, how big's your team, what tools are you using, what's your goal for the year. Tune in because I will show you how to convert those conversations into actual opportunities by doing a deep discovery, super straightforward. And SDRs, as we've covered off today, the landscape is tough. So if you need to level up, click the link in the description below to get access to my objection handling masterclass. I'm telling you, it will set you apart. See you all next week.